sure that you have a clean slate. Hit the little plus sign, and we're going to do it at 76 by 1024, and you end up with your blank slate. The first thing that we're going to do is this is going to be a very quick drawing, and it's going to be done in multitude of different colors. And what we want to use for a tool is we'd like to go to the pen, and we'd like to make it about that thick, and the opacity we're going to keep it at about halfway, and we're going to start with black, because the first thing that we need to do is we need to get the eyes on there, and we need to get the beak for the bird. This is going to be a hummingbird. The thing that you need to do when you're drawing, and I'm going to use my thumb for this drawing, is you need to spend a little bit of time to make sure that your beak and your eye is done very, very well, because it's what's going to be your focal point of your drawing. So one of the nicest things on the thing is, see what I just did there is I made a mistake. So if you hit the undo down here in the corner, it'll fix it. What I'm trying to do is zoom in here onto the beak so that we can make sure the beak is done exactly the way I want it. So I'm just going to spin this every so often so that you can see the way I'm doing the beak. Pull it together here, and then right here we're going to put an eye. Now the eye is going to be very simple. It's going to be done like that. So there we have a little bit of a beak. I don't like that line, so I'm going to take that line back off again. I'm going to go back in, and I'm going to make this beak a little bit longer. And then we have the start of our hummingbird. Okay, we'll put the back of his head on here. And then we're going to zoom back up to full size. So you see the way the hummingbird is starting to come together. Now let's pick some real radical colors. We're going to go in here, we're going to put a nice little soft blue across his head. So we want a nice little soft blue color across his head. And let's put a little bit of a gray up here on the top. You see how I chose that color fairly quickly? And then I'm going to put a little bit of more black underneath, or a darker color of gray underneath here to do the underside of his body. Now do you see how we're starting to get a little bit of a bird feeling to it? So let's give him a real bright, let's go green. Let's go a real green chest. So we're going to draw a green chest, and you'll notice that this drawing I'm doing with my finger. His wings are going to be up here, and his wings are going to go this way. So as I put this together, we're starting to see the start of a bird. Now do you see how quickly this is starting to come together? Start choosing different colors, and I'm going to work faster than you guys might, but you can see how you can start to draw using the pen and starting to make the shape of a bird. This isn't going to be anything fantastic or anything like that, but it will be a great way to start learning how to draw using some of these tools. Now I'm using a very solid, same size line all the way through it, and so I haven't changed the shape. So let's make the line a little bit thicker now. Let's go into a little bit thicker, and let's go back into our greens. And you'll notice we still have some blues in there, so we have to make sure that we continue on with some of our blues. And this is going to be the bottom part of his wing down here, and then we'll have the top part of his wing up here. And by the time we're done, we're going to end up with this nice little bird. Okay, let's get some more blues into this guy. Let's choose that blue for now. Blues into here. See how quickly this is coming together? It doesn't take very long at all in order to draw and to get. Now this is a very representation of a bird, but you'll notice that the time that we took to do the beak in that is what made this bird work right from the very start. It's because it gives you a little bit of a pattern and gives you a little bit of a stroke that is kind of cool. Now, the thing you have to be careful with on some of these drawings is it is very possible to do too much. And if you do too much, you can ruin the whole effect of having a hummingbird. See, now that one's too high, so I don't like that. So let's take that back off, and that's where this tool here is really useful, because you can take things back off again. Let's make that a dark green. So there's a dark green. Well, you see the green color? Then we know we've got the green color. quickly it came together. Let's go back into the head. We're going to zoom back into the head so that we can make sure that we get this right where we want it to be. Darker green in here. Fill in some of this color with the darker green. Give it a nice little funny head shape. Zoom back out to see how we did with that. You see how it started to make a little bit of a bird shape to it? Real simple. Now, the thing that when you're doing a drawing like this is you don't want to be exact. This is called a loose free flow drawing. So we're trying to create this nice little quick bird to give it a feeling of flight and give it a feeling of looseness. And so if you do too much, it's going to end up all smudgy and not good. Now let's see what's some of the other tools. So that was a pen that we used here. So let's go now quickly to a different type bird. Like, take a look at this. It's almost a feather shape, right? So if we make that feather shape smaller and make it very strong opacity, which means it's going to actually be very bright, and let's do this in some orange colors. And you can see it'll come on and it'll fill in some of the backgrounds for us, and it'll give it a real funny different texture because it's got the feather effects on it. And because of that, we can sort of spruce up some of this part. Let's give him a bigger chest. I think he needs to have a bigger chest on there, so let's give him a little bit more green out here on his chest. See that feather? Kind of cool, the way it sort of fans out. Build it up with the green feathers. And let's go into, now, do you see that little dot down there? That happens all the time because you're pressing that one dot. So there's two things you can do. One, you can put the eraser on there, and then you can come in here and just erase it. And that'll take it off around that dot, because you'll end up with those a lot in around that little dot down there because you're pressing it all the time, and sometimes it just doesn't take. And so we want to go into a lime color here, or a real nice turquoise. I don't even know if turquoise is the right color. Like that. Let's see how that looks. It's a little bit more green. And then let's put on some black feathers. And then I'll show you a trick that is really cool. Once you get some darker colors in, that color is that. Should be black, right? How much going on white? Totally opposite of what it should be. So let's go in here. Obviously, one of the settings has gone off a little bit. Oh, because I'm still on erase. I need to go back into that feather. There's that feather. It remembers your settings from before, so now the setting will be the same. So now we're going to use that really dark feather shape to give it a little bit. There, you have a picture of a hummingbird. Now, the one thing that you always do at the end of a drawing, if you're happy with it and